Darius Garland is another guy that we've talked about throughout this season as being a real, he's kind of a mystery player. He hasn't had the year that we thought he would. In fact, I think many would say he took a step back.
Definitely.
He says, and read this quote, Mikey. I thought this was interesting because their MO last year in the playoffs was they cowered. They got pushed around, and they disappeared. What's he saying about the playoffs going into them this year?
Well, the question was asked about, hey, you guys appeared to maybe punt on the fourth quarter against Charlotte to set up this matchup in particular, to which Darius responded, quote, "We're not ducking any smoke. Not this group. We're taking on whoever we get," which may be a little contrary to what we saw on the court last Sunday. Guys, what do you make of that comment?
The comment's ridiculous. First of all, nothing the Cavs say is going to make me believe they're tough. They got to prove it on the court. They do have, I agree with G, some of the leaders. You didn't even mention Morris, right?
No, he mentioned Morris.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. Well, bad job out of me. These guys will bring some toughness and some credibility. But the key players on this team, they all cowered last year. And to me, Jay and I haven't really talked about this, but I hated what they did last Sunday. I hate that. I was with you. I think it's such a loser mentality.
It is a loser mentality.
They did cower. They said they were scared. Essentially, I hated that. They got to turn that around. They got to turn around their embarrassing loss to the Knicks last year and the way this season ended. And the only way to do that is actually be tough on the court and beat up Orlando, because they should win this series.
They should.
Hey, he talked himself into it. Sometimes you got to talk yourself into it. Talk your stuff, man. The Cavs is way too soft. They walk around. We know you good guys, but when you come to the playoffs, we ain't caring about Charlotte no more. You got Orlando Magic. I don't care what nothing happened last week. Let's get into it. You guys got to come out with some fire. And I like the fact that he's saying something. If y'all need to use your quotes in the newspaper to get fired up, by all means, say whatever you need to, because you got to come out with a different mentality than you did last year.
Yeah, I always say that a lot of times I can't hear what you're saying because your actions drown them out. Mm-hmm. And in this case, I was 100% in line with you. I have such a bad taste in my mouth for two things that happened in the last 2 weeks of the season. Blowing inexcusably a 26-point third quarter lead to the Los Angeles Clippers in a game in which you basically were just waiting for the clock to expire.
Yeah.
That, to me, leaves an awful stain on who this team is. And also the deciding that, we're going to pick our opponent. Because, Bull, a lot has been made of what that says about Cleveland. But we can talk more about what it says that Cleveland thinks about Orlando.
Right, yes.
They gave the Orlando Magic motivational logs for their fire coming into the series when they pointed at them and said, we'll take you.
Right.
And that's a risky thing because Orlando's playing with house money.
So last thing with the Magic and the Cavs before we move on to the Browns, but when you guys look at the series, what is the Cavaliers' biggest advantage over the Magic?
Everything. I can't think of one thing that I would say the Magic are better at the Cavs. Cavs have a better roster. They have more experience. Maybe head coach. Maybe Orlando. I might give Orlando a slight edge over at head coach, but experience, leadership, roster, home court. It's all in the Cavs' favor. They've got to win this series.
Well, the biggest example and the biggest thing that we point to is superstars. Superstars win final games in the playoffs, not regular guys. The Cavs got Donovan Mitchell. He's better. He's the best player in the series. If you have the best player in the series, you should win that series.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. The biggest advantage is Donovan Mitchell. We're assuming he's close to 100%, and he's the only superstar. But Banchero is trending in that direction.
He's a really good player.
He's not there yet, and Donovan Mitchell is the biggest star in this series. And the only time I would say that's not an advantage is if on the rest of the team there was a big advantage for the other team. Right. But that's not the case. It's pretty close in the other spots. So, Donovan Mitchell should be the difference. He wasn't last year against the Knicks. He didn't play well enough. He's got to play like a superstar in this series.
I agree. I think there's no excuses for the Cavs to lose this series. If they lose this series, there will be folks cleaning out their office in Independence.
That's correct.
Oh, yeah.